What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It's a lot of thunder outside. You gotta bear with me. This is the first video of 2023. I'm excited to bring it to you. And speaking of 2023, it's a new year. A lot of people got New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. But today I'm going to talk about what's your financial New Year's resolution. A lot of people have resolution like, hey, I'm gonna stop smoking. Hey, I'm gonna limit my coffee intake. I'm gonna go to the gym. Some of the favorites a lot of people talk about. And most of the time us, as normal people, we don't really stick. We try to stick with it, but we don't, we usually fall off at some time or another, which is normal. Then we start the whole cycle again next year. In this video I want to talk about our financial resolutions, for the new year. Some of the stuff that we say we want to do. A lot of people say, hey, I want to get out of debt. I want to get wealthy. I want to build my personal wealth. And all of these are good reasons, resolutions, guys. But today I want to talk a little bit about some of this stuff I got on my board up here. I got some stuff written down. And I really want to get into this and talk about mindset and, different type of things that can help you along the way. Especially when things get like where you're like, I want to give up on this. But I mean, a lot of people will tell you, hey, getting rich is super easy and stuff like that. In a way, they're right. But the thing is, it takes discipline, determination, and conscious change. And the thing is, the biggest part of that is the discipline part. That's why a lot of people say, hey, it ain't easy. I liken getting rich or building wealth equivalent to smoking cigarettes. Like, I smoked cigarettes for 20 years. I just recently stopped. And it was the hardest thing. And I said, listen, if I can make it 48 hours and let the nicotine get out my system, I'll make it out all right. But that first 24 hours is brutal. And I liken it to this. You know what I mean? As far as, dealing with money. Because there's always going to be things you guys want out there. There's going to be things you want to do. It's constantly things being thrown in your face via commercials and different products coming out on the airways, internet, on ads, everything. They're trying to program us to just give our money away. Indiscriminately just spend our money. We are consumers. They're trying to get you to consume most of the time. I'm going to tell you a little something. On some stats I've seen. I got them written down up here, so bear with me. Check it out. As of 2022, 42% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings accounts, or in savings period. So less than 42% of Americans have less than $1,000 to their name. And that's a lot of people in America. Think about that. 56% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 expense in an emergency. So if the car broke down and they needed $1,000 to fix it, most Americans couldn't do that. That's something to think about, because a lot of people think, hey, everybody got $1,000. It's not always the case, and it's surprising. It says 50% of Americans don't have $500 in savings. So 50% of Americans don't have $500 in the bank at any given time. Check this out. It says 35% don't even have retirement savings. That's a thing a lot of you young people need to pay attention to, because a lot of everybody's, like I said, we're taught to consume and spend our money and buy a bunch of stuff, a bunch of junk. Hey, commercials tell you, hey, you need this, or if you want to be cool, you got to wear this, or, so on and so forth. This is what the cool people drive. And, if that doesn't work in these different commercials or ads, it plays to your consciousness. Okay, maybe you want to feel a certain way. You see somebody driving a car, or you see somebody in a party experiencing something, and you want to have experience, but you got to buy the product to get the experience. They link the product to that experience. And it's one of those things where it plays on your emotion. And, it's not going to stop, guys. It's normal. It is what it is. We just got to discern our wants from our needs. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. And it all comes down to your mindset, man. We all have to have a different mindset. 90% of Americans are in debt, some type of debt. And a lot of them are unhappy. You know, and a lot of people are stuck at jobs they can't even stand. But, you know, they got so much debt they can't quit because they don't know where the next job is going to come up. And it's just the uncertainty. And like I said, it all comes to mindset. Like people say, oh, getting rich is easy. It all comes down to discipline. That's the biggest one. And, you know, just having determination and you want to constantly change. If you want to help, you know, you want to help yourself, acknowledge that you need help financially. Because I made a couple of mistakes this year, you know, buying purchases that I knew I shouldn't have bought. Now, it didn't affect my stock market, you know, portfolios or nothing like that. I didn't take the money out of there. But I mean, I'm guilty just as much as anybody else is, you know, and I want to be honest about that. I don't want to get on here as a content creator and say, you need to do this, you need to do. Listen, guys, I'm just like you. You know, I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And once you get your mindset, you know, to where you're like, okay, I'm not going to let this happen no more. Or I'm not going to do this. Or I'm not going to spend this on that. Or I'm not going to allow my money to not be tracked instead of, you know, just frivolously spending my money. A lot of good things that happen to you. Mindset, having your mindset, and it impacts your habits. It impacts your habits as well as your decisions. Once your mind gets straight and you put up a barrier, okay, listen, this is not going to happen no more. The reason why this happens is because of this. Everything is cause and effect, guys. Because of this, I did this irresponsibly with my money. Now my finances look like this. So you don't forget and you always remember. And then when you're going back into that habit, you can catch it. Snap up. Okay, listen, I'm not doing that again. So your mindset will, you know, it'll enhance your decisions. It'll have a role in your decisions. All you got to do, if you want something to stop, just stop it, guys. Another thing is, having the right kind of mindset, it'll make you call to action a lot of things that you know you need to do. You know where point A is, where you're starting, and you know where point B is. You can see it. All you got to do is put it in motion and move forward. That's your call to action. I got to get from here to there. What's the mystery? Let me figure it out. And it might not take you overnight. Little steps, guys, little increments in your finances, whether it's dealing with your bills right a certain way, or is it budgeting in a certain way? Because let me ask you something. Like a lot of times, like let me ask you this. How many times, in fact, you can do this right now if you're at home. If you're sitting there, think about it. Or you got a pen and pad, write down everything you bought in 2022 that you don't even use no more. That it was something that you wanted. Not a necessity, something that you wanted. Try to remember the price and try to remember what made you buy it. So write down what the item is, the price, and the reason for buying it. Add all of that up and then look at the reasons for. I guarantee you most of the time it was based on emotion. Hey, I just wanted it, or I wanted to experience this, or that sounded good at the time. Remember, at the time. You know, anybody can get knocked off of their square thinking about things and get sidetracked. You know, you might see you might be somewhere, somebody got a nice cologne on. Hey man, what is that? Boom, yeah, such and such. You know, and you'd be like, oh, how much was it or whatever, and he give you a price, and all of a sudden you're not thinking about it no more. But you in the mall, or you in Walmart, or you wherever they sell cologne and stuff at, and all of a sudden you'll see it in your subconscious and pick it up. Man, that's what the guy had on. Let me grab it real quick. You can get knocked off your square easy. So that's the first thing, your mindset. Like I said, if you need help, man, you know, seek help. YouTube is a good search engine for understanding a lot of things, especially a lot of how-tos. You know, study. You want to learn about the stock market? There are various books out there. You can go and, you know, most of us have phones on us all the time. Phone ain't nothing but a computer. You know, we use the phone to play games and to look at Instagram and look at other people's stuff, and we don't even use it for what it's worth. You got a laptop almost in your hand. Same thing you can do on a laptop, you can do off of a phone. And it's like we have so much knowledge in our hand, at our access, at our disposal, and we don't even use it. So, I mean, it's various sources to get information about finances, or why people do the things they do, or why you're in the financial rut that you're in, that you can easily get out of. All it takes is a little bit of time. I mean, a lot of us, you know, on YouTube watching things, and, you know, we don't manage our time right. You know, you might work 8 hours a day, right? You come home, you still got what? Another what? 16 hours? Another 16 hours you could be doing something. And all it takes is an hour out of your day, or not even that, 30 minutes. Hell, 5 minutes to find the answer to a question you have. And it might be something that's been pegging you for months or even years. And it's like, you know, we don't make good use of all of the resources that are around us that makes life easier for us. You know, but we'll use it to pacify ourselves, to escape the reality of something we really want to get out of. You know, and it's just one of those things. So we'll go with mindset, right? Second thing is, you got to develop some type of foundation as far as, you know, financially to start from. You know, and whatever you was doing, whatever type of house you was trying to build in 2022 that didn't work or come out right financially, tear the whole thing down, sweep off the slab, and start over again. You know what I mean? Go out there and find the right tools to build this framework. You know, and figure everything out, and just start off slow, man. Small steps. You know, it's small steps in the journey. And no matter how long the journey is, just little steps at a time. And you know, people will fall off sometimes, but I mean, as long as you keep focused, you'll be okay. Like I said, with all of the statistics I had quoted, another thing is this: you got to start eliminating leaks in your life financially, money leaks. And what I say about money leaks is this: a lot of people in some YouTube videos, and it's not up to me to say whether they're right or wrong, because a lot of times they are right, and some of the stuff that I don't agree with, but I can't get with it right now. But with everybody having debt, right? You know, a lot of people say, hey, pay all your bills off first. If that's the case, a lot of people will be able to pay the bills off. It's very hard to do that. Now, you can start on paying your bills off first, you know, and there are different ways to do that. But a lot of people work paycheck to paycheck, and, you know, they're like, hey, listen, I can't afford another $200. How am I even going to be able to pay some of these bills off? And that's one of those type of things, like I was talking to my son about. You know, you have to eliminate a lot of things where you're hemorrhaging money. You know, like when somebody put a bandage on you, you know, and like you're bleeding, they put a bandage on you to stop the leak. It's the same thing. And these are some of the things that I'm talking about we have to take care of, and a lot of traps we got to avoid in 2023. First thing about that things that leak money, you know, when you're trying to get right, payday loans. A lot of people, I call those predatory loans. Them payday loans is killing a lot of us, man. A lot of us. Sometimes there are people taking out payday loans 3 days before they get paid. And I'm like, man, I don't understand why you would, you know, and like if you look at some of these commercials, oh, you can get paid right now. You don't have to wait 2 weeks. And I'm like, you know, how much of a rush is the money? And then the thing is this, even if you get paid early, it kind of backfires on you, because instead of getting paid every 14 days, say you got paid 5 days before, now you got to wait 19 days to get paid again. That's not helping your financial situation a lot of times. Now, granted, there are sometimes emergencies, you know, and people go through them. But, you know, as far as payday loans, try to eliminate using them. The interest rates are insane and crazy, and they just prey on a lot of people. You know, another thing is overdraft fees. I used to be guilty of this big time. Overdraft fees, making just enough to pay my bills. I had a little bit of an overdraft where they can give you overdraft, and all of a sudden, I'd go ahead and knock my account into the negative on purpose. Oh, I get paid in a couple of days. And what the bank does, they sit there, they keep track, and they'll bang you for $10. $10 overdraft fee. Every time I'm with Bank of America. Every time I would run that credit card, my debit card at the time, and I was in an overdraft, say I used the card 3 times and I might have used it to buy a soda, a $2 soda. So I used the card, $2, that's $7.50. I used it 3 times. Next day, my overdraft fee would be like $30. So instead of paying $7.50, which was the overdraft to get back to zero, I got to pay $37.50 because I was being frivolous with my card. And that's how a lot of these banks make money off you, man. It's like one of these things, you got to be careful of that. And you just got to watch out. You know, the simplest thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, I'll just do the overdraft one time out, and then it ain't going to happen again. It's a rut you can fall into. Bad habits start, and they start rolling, and it's hard to get out of them. Another thing is high interest rates. Car purchases, right? These high interest rate car purchases, like my son is a car salesman now. He said, man, people be coming in there and having buying cars at 18% interest in the car, like $40,000. And I'm like, they want for that deal? They like, yeah, man, people be, you know, wanting cars. And a lot of times, especially around income tax time, now, right now, the interest rates is high. A lot of these used car companies, because we're coming up on income tax time, a lot of these car companies going to have some real nice cars, especially those used cars, dealerships. They're going to have a lot of nice cars, and them interest rates going to be high, and they're going to make a killing off of a lot of people because a lot of people need vehicles. You know, buying a vehicle can happen at any time, guys, and the interest rates are higher and stuff right now, but, you know, avoid it at all costs because I'm telling you, having that drag on like that, I had brought a motorcycle years ago, right? This is when my credit was bad. I brought a motorcycle years ago. I bought a Honda CBR 600RR. This is when I was trying to be a biker boy or whatever. I bought the bike. The bike was like $7 grand. My interest rate was 15%. With it being 15%, right? Man, let me tell you something. I paid the first year the bike off at like $200 and something. I'm like, you know, I'm not even worrying about the interest rate. I want the bike so bad. Man, I got to the end of that first year. I looked. It was like the balance never changed. I paid all interest and still had interest to go. And I was like, I felt ripped off. Like, man, what kind of... And that's when it hit me how high interest rates really affect you. Because a lot of times, man, us as consumers, we want something so bad, we don't even look at how much it costs. You know, we'll look at how much it costs, but we don't even look at the amount of money of interest they would get off of us. You know, we just want the item. Like me, I wanted the bike. I don't care. I just wanted to be cool. I wanted to look cool. This is some years back, but you understand what I'm saying? A lot of times, the want will oversee the need, and just the desire to have something so bad that you've always wanted can ruin you financially. And in the case of with me, such was the case. You know, so try to avoid these high interest car payments and bike payments or whatever. Another thing is this: credit card debt. Credit card debt is killer. You know what I'm saying? The average individual debt in America is $38,000, and that excludes mortgages. With a mortgage, the average American has $96,000 in debt. Now, what may make that be? A lot of people say consumer credit, credit cards, you know, car payments, like we was talking about, them car payments, and mortgages, college loans, same thing. You know, another thing you got to avoid is, like I said, credit card debt, high interest loans. And we spoke a little bit about that, you know, already. Third thing. Well, no. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. Yeah. Fourth thing. Your savings account is not just the savings account. Meaning, you know, that's not going to get you wealthy. You have to invest your money. You know, a lot of times sitting your saving money in a savings account, you losing your money. It's making you go broke. Because remember, inflation go up 2% every year. We already at 7%. So a lot of times, a lot of the banking rates affect your money in the bank. So yeah, it might say that you got $1,000 in there, but with the interest rates the way they are, that percentage, whatever the percentage, the inflation, all that is, it come out of that $1,000. So it'll say it's $1,000, but because of inflation, it's not worth $1,000. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand when inflation go up yearly. That's why, if you notice, over time, things get more and more expensive. The cost to make these goods go up. Everybody's raising rates, raising prices. The short-term interest rates are going up. So it affects all of that, and what it does is it takes a toll on your dollar that you have sitting idle. That's why I deal with investing, because with investing, if I put my money in the right place, I can get 8 to 10% back on my money yearly, thus beating inflation. And that's the reason why I made this channel, is because, you know, if somebody can get just something out of what I talk about, you know, just enough to make you think, you know, it'll change your life. Like, I was forced to think. You know, I had a mentor, but that was later on, you know, in life. And all the mistakes and all the money I got when I was really young, I blew it. And, you know, some people out there right now have been through that or are going through that now. 2023 is your year to change that. You know, anything's possible, man. Just have discipline. And, you know, like they say, seeking you shall find. It's knowledge out there, man. Go get it. You know, go get the knowledge. Another thing is this. It's profitable, and I want y'all to pay attention to this. It's more profitable to keep you poor than anything. Let me say that again. It's profitable to keep people poor. The reason why is, if they're not telling you anything, right, about how to make money or anything like that, and they keep you poor, what's some facts about a lot, you know, some main facts about being poor. Being poor, you'll have needs. A lot of people have constant needs, especially if they have children, because children have needs. So being poor creates needs. You know, it creates a lot of urgency and despair. You know, it creates debt and anxiety, because the urgency and despair, the despair is, I'm tired of being in this position. I want to make a change. I hate being like this. You know, and that can drive you to do a lot of negative things that you might not even want to do, you know, want to do in life. You know, a lot of people are locked up right now because they fell into a despair, and then they turned to crime, and, you know, things are what they are. It creates a lot of urgency. You might, when you're poor, you might take proposals or things that you know that are wrong, but you might take them out of desperation, i.e. a lot of payday loans, you know, or a lot of these different type of predatory loans where they put out there with these high interest rates. You might want a sofa so bad that you might go to Rent-A-Center and get smoked on how much you got to pay by the end, because they'll lure you in with a small amount, but the interest rate will be high, or what you got to pay weekly or whatever. You know, so it's like things like that, guys, you got to be cognizant of. You know, like I said, being poor, it attracts a lot of predatory creditors. You know, people that want to get your money or get you locked into something, you know, and create more despair for you and desperation. Oh man, I gave him so much money, because like, you'll be giving money and everything will be working out fine. You'll be giving a lot of money, and all of a sudden it's a threat that what you have can be taken away from you. And when it's that threat, you think about all the money you gave them, and you'll do everything to keep it. You know, and it's just one of those things. Another thing, guys, live within your means. And this is something that's very simple that a lot of people don't pay attention to. The first thing you got to do, you know, a lot of people say, hey, I ain't got the money to this. Yeah, you do. You just got to adjust your lifestyle. You know, you bring in you bring in $2,000. See if you can live off of $1,500. Get these bills down. Condition yourself. We all try to work to support our lifestyle. Slow your lifestyle down. Now, I'm not saying everybody wants to, you know, it's supposed to be broke and poor and live minimalist. Like, I live a minimalist lifestyle. You know, most of the money I have is in the market. I have some money in an emergency fund, another business bank account, and then I have a checking account where I pay my bills out of. But I move money constantly around, and I've learned this, you know, from people mentoring me, and I've also learned it on my own. Because I mean, my mentorship was limited, so I want to make it like somebody taught me everything. They didn't. They just put me on the right path and just told me to walk, and I never missed a beat. But you know, bottom line is this, guys. You know, the reason why I brought that up is we got to stop making other people rich. Now I know you heard that a long time ago. I mean, a long time ago. You heard the term a lot of times, and that holds true. I own a business, right? And I don't have employees right now, you know, but I can do the job of 8 people by myself because I've been doing it so long. And it's like, you know, I've developed a system, and I go out, I come back home, make my amount of money I make, and it's good. I don't have overhead of paying anybody. But I'm gonna tell you something as an employee, and I realized this. We worked for a company, and I was there for 3 years, and it was a startup company, and I seen the company take off. And I'm like, man, you know, somebody said, you know what, we making his dreams come true. And he said that in the Christmas party, man, I appreciate all you guys supporting me and making my dreams come true. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, he's right. We did make his dream come true. Yeah, he paid us. You know, ain't like he scammed us, he paid us. But I'm like, if he did that, why can't we do it? And that's one of the reasons why I started my own business. Because when you work for somebody, the time and energy you put in, yeah, you get a paycheck, but you are working towards their retirement and their dream of making their business successful, while diminishing yours because your time that you could be putting in your dream is being wasted on somebody else. Now, am I telling you not to get a job? No, I'm not saying it. But it's one of those things. You got to think differently. You know, 90% of the people, hey, get a job, stay at the job, make as much money as you can, and then when you retire, that's it. You know, like I said, average retirement saved is $141,000. That's not enough. Guys, that is not enough. It's not enough. Because think about this. Like I said, the average debt is $96,000 with a mortgage. What if somebody bought a house in their 40s, right? And you got a 30-year mortgage. So that means you're going to be in your 70s trying to pay that off at a retirement age. Say you retire at 65, you got 5 years. You can live 5 years off $141,000. And a lot of what people don't think about, guys, is we get old. The older you are, the more health problems. The more health problems you have, the more your medical bills go up. Not everybody gonna have good insurance when they retire. And it's a big thing that we don't think about, and it's something that really needs to be talked about. And then another thing is this, like you guys heard me say before, hey, credit cards and money are tools. You know, they're not goals just to get a credit card with a high limit on it that you can ball out of control, or just having a lot of money sitting in the bank saying, hey, look at me, I'm successful. That is not the goal. You know, they're tools. Money and credit cards are tools that, you know, and they don't come with instructions or any type of manual of how to operate and work them. And school doesn't teach you that. And that's one of the big problems I have with, you know, the educational system, where, and why I say we're programmed to be consumers. We're programmed to just make money and then give it right back out. You know what I mean? And you can learn about how to use these. Learn how to use debt to your advantage. Learn how to use credit cards. A credit card company ain't going to tell you how to use a credit card. They're going to just say, oh, you qualify to get one, and they're going to give it to you, and that interest going to eat you alive. They said, as far as credit card debt, right? The average American has $6,200 in credit card debt. The average household, $6,200 in credit card debt at an interest rate of 15 to 25%. So that means if you're 21 years old, right, and somebody said, give me $6,200 and you'll make 62, and give me the $6,200 they invest in the stock market, and you'll get 20% on interest every year off of your holding until the age 65. So if you hold it in there for 44 years, you'll have what, $20 million? Credit card companies do that all the time. They do that all the time. They get you on the hook. The high interest rates, yeah, you can pay off as little as you can. But as you're doing that, them interest rates are killing you, and you'll always be a slave in making that payment. And it seems like it's never going down. But you won't be paying attention to that, because as it's going down, they give you free will to swipe it again and get it back up and keep paying. So it's kind of like, I forgot who it was in Greek mythology. What was it, Hercules? Where you, no, that wasn't Hercules. Where you roll in the boulder up the hill, then you get sidetracked, and you let the boulder come back down, and you start again. You know, these are common rat race problems that we face, guys. And I mean, you guys, you know, everybody's saying, hey, I want to change my life and all that stuff. Just educate yourself. It's a lot of information out there you can take advantage of. I just gave you 2 things right now. Understand how and when to use money, especially cash, and how to effectively, properly use a credit card. You'll make out all right. But listen, I'm Stock Market Steve. First video of the month. I know it's long. I ain't make one yesterday, so you can tell I missed y'all, so I'm running my mouth. But as always, guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you spending time with me as always. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.